Finally, with great anticipation, it is my great honor and privilege to invite our special guests to introduce themselves. Miss Kristin Sohl, can you please introduce yourself?
Absolutely. Well, it's such an honor to be here. I'm Kristin Sohl. I'm a pediatrician practicing developmental behavioral pediatrics in the United States, in Missouri, and I'm also the founder and executive director of ECHO Autism, which you're going to get to hear more about, but Meri and her team are bringing that to life so that we can allow and really support people with autism no matter where they live to experience best practices. You know, one of the most beautiful things about what we get to do is all of us have expertise. Meri's an expert, Sarah's an expert, I'm an expert, Val's an expert, Silvana's an expert, and yet if you can't get to one of us in order to be able to receive best practice care, then what does that mean for your child or for your loved one? And so ECHO Autism is all about bringing that best practice no matter where you live around the world so that people can live their best lives. And I think that's what we all want as a human is to be able to live our best lives and have access to the things that we need. So I am so honored and so proud of this team and of our organization and our group trying to really make sure that we can get those best practices everywhere around the world. And thank you so much for being here to support Meri and her team in getting this off the ground. I want to share kind of the passion behind some of the work that we do and some of the important things that I know Meri and her team are going to also be doing as well. So I just have a couple of slides that I wanted to share. So thinking about what is ECHO Autism, you've got a chance to hear about Project ECHO, and ECHO Autism is a little bit extra. And the reason it's a little bit extra is because what we know is that people all around the world who have disabilities or different abilities, frankly, are the most marginalized populations in the entire world. And that's in the United States where I am, that's in North Macedonia, that's in all around the world. And so one of the things that we know about using the ECHO model, which is a brilliant model that's so simple in its brilliance, that it allows us to take new knowledge, so best practices, as we like to call them, that are coming out of scientific academia, if you will, or academic medical centers or educational centers, and really get those into clinical practice much more quickly. So when we think about ECHO, it's about moving that knowledge to people. And so that's really what we're all about. But in ECHO Autism, we take that a couple steps further. We say, yes, it is all about moving that scientific discovery into clinical practice so people everywhere can experience those standards, if you will, or those best practices. But then it's also saying, how do we as a global community start to think about advocacy and policy change for people with disabilities specifically, but that also includes mental health. That includes autism as a neurodevelopmental disability, but it also includes intellectual disability, and it includes many and all people who have different types of abilities. So when we think about this, that's really how we're going to strive to improve outcomes for children and adults all around the world who have different abilities. So ECHO Autism Communities is a culmination of those ideas and this global work that we are all doing. Our vision is to imagine communities where people with all abilities live their best lives. I like to think about this as that I have abilities, you have abilities, but so do many, many people who are considered less because they don't have the same abilities or the prescribed abilities that we often think about. And so how can we instead change the way we think about that? One of the ways we do that is through the ECHO model, so democratizing expertise and really getting those best practices to where people can learn how to make decisions together with a parent or an individual with disabilities disabilities, and really say, how can we increase access for people with autism or other types of abilities to live their best lives? So we anchor ourselves in a couple of very core values. First and foremost is around person and family centered, both care and service. And really that's rooted in dignity and respect, right? So when all of us are able to appreciate what we bring to the table, that mutual respect and that dignity for one another allows us to really do so much more. And so when we think about that, it allows us to produce and what we call co-produce care and discovery. How do we learn what it means to support and foster improved outcomes in North Macedonia for someone with autism or someone with a mental health condition or concern? What does it mean for us to really say, no, let's see the possibilities in all abilities? One of the most important things to me is embracing curiosity, right? I don't have autism, so therefore I'm going to have to figure out how to work with my colleagues and people on the spectrum and many, many others. And that means I'm embracing that curiosity to really, really stretch our opportunities and stretch all of us to think about, what does a global world mean where all people are treated with dignity and respect? We also firmly believe in in our ECHO Autism community space that we are looking at a person from a 360-degree perspective. An individual does not live on an island, right? They live within a family, they live within a healthcare system, they live within a global community. And so when we're thinking about that together, what does that mean? And as an individual professional, I'm a pediatrician, but how might I need to understand what the family dynamic is going on and how that's impacting my child or the child that I'm working with. Same thing with education. If I have no idea what's going on in the school setting, or I don't understand the school setting, how does that impact the outcomes that that child experiences or that family experiences? So certainly really important work as we all broaden our horizons and broaden our understanding of this global concept as well as this global community. We are all around the world. It is true that Meri and her team are the very first ECHO Autism in all of Europe. We have a couple of other folks who are hot in pursuit to also launch, but we are so proud of the work that this team is doing. We do have teams in many, many other places around the world, including the sub-Saharan Africa. We have quite a few teams in Latin America now. We have a couple that are growing and getting ready to launch in other places around the world. And certainly we are so thankful to the global community that is seeing the mission and really embracing the work that we do. One of the neatest things about ECHO Autism is that we do believe in professional partnerships, and we want to have everybody come and learn. And so you can join any of the ECHOs that we offer, that any of our ECHO Autism communities offer, and you can come and learn. There are many, many different topics. There are many different things. And so certainly Meri's team is going to be focusing on the importance of early intervention, and we're really focusing on how do we take, when we notice a concern, when we see that something's been identified as a concern, how do we take it to that next level? How do we make sure families are moving forward for their child's health and well-being? And so we are so excited to have them joining as part of this work, and certainly encourage all of you to join her and her team as we really change the landscape for how things are going in North Macedonia, but that entire region. So with that, those are the comments that I wanted to make, but we are just beyond thrilled. You know, when I get a chance to see teams like this one start to think about how we can do something different, that's what's so exciting, right? Really, in order to change the world, we have to think differently. We have to think outside of the box, and we have to think about what can we do, right? So I often think about, as a clinician, what can I do to support my patients? But it's more than that. All of us have to think about not just what can't someone do or what can't I do, but what can I do? And so certainly this team has demonstrated that time and time and time again. And so I'm super proud and thankful for this group, and obviously to all of you for spending your time with us this morning. But I'm going to turn it back over to Meri to continue our time together. Thank you so much.